Bhagavate Shri Arunachal Ramanaya Om. Om. Namaste everyone. Welcome. Anyone wish to say something or ask? Hello Diana, you have to unmute yourself.
Namaste, Sanjay.
Namaste.
It's very strange. Although I wanted to share that really quietness and calmness entered here completely, and it was a little irritation here to why to share it. It just is, and so I share the joy of it with you, and with full gratitude, to you and the Sangha that it was again and again and again and again confirmed, just so deeply confirmed, that silence is all we are, that silence is what we are. It was so deeply confirmed, and in this confirmation, it was this energy of total transformation. It was never experienced by anyone or many teachers, many masters. It was never experienced in this profound transformation, and this total encouraging and knowing you are this, we are this. And this is, I feel all this gratitude. I want to explain it, to express it to you, Sanjay. Really, yes.
Yeah.
And yesterday, a friend of mine living here on Crete, also close by, she booked for Avanachala. She wasn't 10 years at Avanachala. She booked it for Avanachala, and it was very gratefully just observed. It didn't do anything here. I lived at Arunachala 5 years, and I before COVID started, I lived 5 years there, and I tuned in with Arunachala energy completely, but that there was no feeling, oh, I have to go with her to Arunachala, and this is necessary. And so it was very quiet, and it was totally received that Arunachala really keeps what he promises to find within you, just turn within and all is there, and there's not really a need to go, to travel or whatever. That's what I wanted to share. This is really new, very new. Yes.
And I'll tell you, when it is new, we all become like child. I used to jump like you, maybe more than you. You are still keeping it very grounded, because this newfound energy, you just keep jumping, It is so beautiful. It's like indescribable. Nobody can describe it, And only you know it, what it is. And no one else has to confirm for you. You know yourself. That is the beauty of it, Because all the time we think that, the self-realization someone has to sign a certificate that I am self-realized. No, there's nothing. There's no one there. No one inside, and so no one outside. So it's only Shiva, it's Arunachala. And I like what you just said, that there's no felt need to go to Arunachala because it is in. Same thing was asked to Bhagavan, that if Arunachala comes in front of Bhagavan, what will he say? What will he experience? Someone asked Bhagavan like this. Bhagavan said, I will say, don't fool me. You are in me. You can't be outside. So this is so profound and so beautiful and so easy and simple also, The only thing it needs is our own honesty, our own, on this inquest, seriously, humbly, honestly, keeping quiet, stay on it. Whatever happening in life, whatever situation we are, that is most conducive for our unfolding, for our flowering. No need to go anywhere. This is what I also understood about Bhagavan's teaching. And this is what I experienced. Wherever we are, whatever we are doing, that is the place. Because who has put into this form and this place and this situation? That Shiva only, that God only, that Paramatman only. Trust, have faith, and start looking within. If you see, Bhagavan said the biggest worship is to abide in self. The biggest mantra is to say that I am that I am. I am that Shiva. So start from where you have to end. We have to end at non-duality, Advait, I am that I am. There is no need to be going through in circles with Dvait. Dvait also takes to Advait only. But if you pay attention to yourself, and let's say you have no clue what is self, but you just have heard that if I pay attention to self, I will be one day self-realized. This much is enough. No practice is wrong. It is your intention. The moment you have this intention, this bhav, that I am keeping my attention to myself, to my silence, thoughts leave you. Whatever is not self leaves you. Because we need to understand, there is no fraud or fakeness in this whole scheme of things. In this world, there are. Mind can play tricks. People can play tricks on you. You can be put into concepts and rituals in different religions. And then you have been asked to do this, otherwise this will happen. Recently, someone joined me, and she sent me a text yesterday, long text. And first she has said that she was feeling silence and bliss coming, sitting with us. And then she has written that since childhood I have ABC as my guru, so I have to stop coming. These are the things. Sometimes the guilt comes that, oh, I selected a guru, so that guru would get annoyed now or something. The mind plays so many. You are getting silence, you are into bliss, but then this silence is coming from a different door, and I have selected 30 years ago different door. So until that door doesn't open, I'll not enter from this door. All these things, we create. What can you say? You say best wishes. Because mind is so strong. People don't want to change their old patterns. There's not much in this. It is us only. What is in between that is also our mind. And what is that is also us. It is all within, nothing outside. External guru is also to tell you to be here. If external guru is asking you to be somewhere else, then I think nobody can help you. Because the teaching should be only dependent on your own inner self. That is the only teaching. And that self is Ramana, Arunachala, Shiva, Jesus, whatever you want to call. Or if you don't want to call by any name. But the best name for that thing is you, your own name. You are that. You are that. We all are that. But one thing is sure, intellectual understanding and someone says you are that does not make that change. You have to experience in you. And to experience, keep your attention there. That is sadhana, that is practice. And that is the only effort. And when we put effort, then we realize, though I am a seeker, I have very less interest in this word, but still I have some deficiencies, so mind goes out into things. That acknowledgement is enough. And then slowly and gradually, this change keeps happening within. And that self gives strength for us to be there. So little bit of whatever attachments or attractions, and I have said this so many times, those attractions and attachments are to serve the sense organs of this body. With this realization that I am Brahman, I am awareness, you stop serving the body. When I say stop serving, doesn't mean that you stop eating or don't wear clothes. But the way we indulge, we think we are serving the body. I am serving myself. We don't think I am serving a body. We think I am serving myself. There was this lady, I think a couple of years ago, who wrote me a long email, and we were in discussion about practices. And she sent a very innocent email to me saying that, Sanjay, whole day I try to be in self-inquiry and stay there. Can I watch at least one movie every night? Or can I watch my favorite serial? So this much I should be allowed to entertain myself. This is a very innocent question, but you can see that whom are we serving in that entertainment? Who is getting entertained? Who still wants to get entertained? Watching a movie is not a big deal. We all can watch a movie at night. But the thing is that there's something in us which takes pleasure from watching the movie, as if not watching the movie is a punishment. When you understand this and you deeply question it, don't stay superficial with this question. This is a serious question. You can change this movie to any indulgence. Big indulgences or small indulgences, doesn't matter. But see how the mind goes for things. And when you question the one who wants to enjoy it, that is what self-inquiry is. Self-inquiry stays throughout in us. It is something in us, that awareness which is watching our actions, whether our actions are serving body or whether our actions are serving awareness. There is no need to serve awareness, but in a way, are they impartial and neutral actions? And also to understand that some people take this concept that if they are not serving the body, then they are serving others. Don't take it like that. Then also the ego can say, okay, I'll not serve my body, I will serve other people. I will give them more, I will keep less. But give them more, keep myself less. My and them and all this is there. Differentiation is there. And that is the problem. That is why some people come and tell me, Sanjay, I want to help others more rather than doing any sadhana. But helping others, taking them as others, is also an obstacle. The one who is helping will never say, I am helping, if he is really helping without ego. Because you will not feel that you are helping. Tomorrow you're not going to tell people that I helped that person or that person. Body is just moving in a motion. Something is happening and it did something which ego says I helped others. But the moment when you try to explain someone like this, they get offended because they think they have spent all their life in helping others, and then when you say, ego has different forms to keep itself intact. Bhagavan never said to people that you go out and help and country needs you and you should be freedom fighter. Who are going, he didn't say you are doing wrong. Who are not going, he didn't say that you should go. Nothing. He was just quiet. Rather, people who went for some freedom fighting occasion, like some rally or something, they were thrown out of the ashram at that time. Because ashram rules were you have to stay here, you should not be engaged in other activities. So Bhagavan used to say, this is a rule, not I didn't make any rules, but someone has made. If you don't follow, you have to stay in Palakot too. So some people actually disobeyed, went to march with Gandhiji or something, and then they stayed outside. Because we need to understand, people who are very kind-hearted, always working for nation, can die for nation, they are unselfish people. That is why if you look into, a lot of Indian freedom fighters at that time became sages. They become sannyasis. Because that was the aim, and they, after freedom, they just left everything. If you see Aurobindo, Hanuman Prasad Poddar, a lot of people were like that. Selfishness, ego, greed, and all accompaniments of ego, like jealousy, fear, hate, anger, they are exactly opposite to what this Atman is. Atman has no clue about these things. That is why someone was asking me, why you call Atman as attributeless? Though Atman has also attributes. Atman is loving, compassionate, kind, peaceful. Why don't you call this as attributes of Atman? Why you say it's Nirguna? Nirgun means no gunas, no attributes. Why do you call it a Nirgun? These are gunas of Atman, isn't it? Nirvikar also have these gunas. Just to differentiate that ego captures attributes upadhis, which are all changing. Lust, anger, greed, jealousy, all these are, we say, ego's attributes. And then upadhis, like I am man, I am father, I am son, I am officer, whatever we have relationship, all this which I, and then the other thing comes with it. I is the main upadhi by which these all upadhis come. Awareness, don't claim anything. So if awareness has unfolded in us, our experience is experience of awareness, impartial, neutral. Externally, this body has gathered upadhis, attributes. For others, there might be, but for you, none. And the best test is if something is taken away from you. Nothing happens. Given to you, nothing happens. Because there is no I on which all of them actually attaches themselves. Keep contemplating on truth in you, and I disappears, and with I everything disappears. Like in this whole jigsaw puzzle, there is only one lie, one illusion, that is, I am the body idea. The moment this I goes away, because the one who was thinking that whatever you call it, attention, when it goes and finds itself in reality, not in reflected mode, the reflection stays, but it has no effect. Joy of knowing yourself is unending, perpetual, eternal. And this joy is joy without any reason. Not that you have got something today or you are richer. Like all the worldly joys, someone is laughing, you will say, क्या lottery निकल गई है क्या? You have got a lottery, or have you won something? Then only you can be happy. This is a joy of a madman, a mad person just laughing without any reason. It is indescribable. And this desireless joy is attained only when we become desireless. We have only known joy after fulfillment of desire. And we have seen unhappiness when there are unmet desires. Now let's live desireless. Work hard, something happens, good, nothing happens, very good. Let body do, and you pay attention to awareness. If you take it as a game, as a practice, all the time you will start noticing a big change occurs within. Work is happening and I am stillness. Things are going wrong, amounts to a tragedy and I should be unhappy, but I am happy inside. Some joy is there. As if my reaction to the tragedy is misfit. As if people might come and say, "Oh, I'm so sorry to know that your car is being stolen," and you are happy inside. Happy not just laughing in front of people, but it might appear inappropriate, because appropriateness is that you should be happy on your birthday if someone is wishing you, and you should be unhappy with when normal people are unhappy with events in life. And I'm pretty sure everyone who is realized do some bit of acting, as with people's mood. Hard to explain that all these forms coming, going, changing is illusory appearance on our screen of Atman, which we all are. The other day I was talking to an old lady from India, and she has no clue about her date of birth. And those were the days when people don't have much idea about their date of birth. They had maybe year, when they go to school, college, they will put some date. Someone will say, okay, put that date. Sometimes in one family, everyone has the same date, 1st of January, something, different years. You will think, why everyone is born on 1st of January? Actually, it is not at all significant. Some things in our life, some rituals, some ceremonies, they reinforces us in our mindset that we are this body. And the most important of them is name. The name given to us by parents, a name given actually to the body, but we think I am this body. Everyone calls by that name, and we have to answer by that name. That is why, if you see in India, in ashrams, these sages, they keep changing their name. First they are given one name, then after that another name, then another name. And before coming, they had a different name. Steve, do you want to ask something?
David Gottman talks about lots of things that were.
Can you speak a bit louder?
Yeah, can you hear me now? A little bit better?
That's better, yes.
Okay. Oh, thank you. David Gottman is this scholar, and I really like his treatment of everything. He talks about how in years past, and this is everywhere, I'm sure, that at Arantula, there was all these disciples, and they're trying to do the right thing, and but they still have these residual likes and preferences and impartialities and stuff like that you were talking about earlier. They don't come there and boom, as soon as they go through the gate, they're they still got to, and part of that involves like I don't know, it's sort of subtle intrigue, like trying to kind of cozy up to Ramana or something, or be the number one disciple.
Okay, maybe make a bit louder, because I'm still struggling to hear. If you can do something on your side.
Can you hear me now? No. Yes. Okay. All right. And so I'm trying to connect this to what you said earlier. And you said this, as you mentioned earlier, you've said this over and over and over, and you do, which is about what we wind up doing is looking to satisfy the body satisfactory through the various senses. And I think of the senses as being, major vision, hearing, olfactory, gustatory, the subtler ones like the kinesthetic sense. Whenever some person is in one of those guys in the 30s, they're trying to, jockey to be a favorite person. What would it be like? Well, if I am number one disciple, I will get to eat better food, or I'll get to live in a better surroundings. What sensory, I could see ego, like, hey, look at me, but what sensory modality would that be serving to become a favorite disciple of Ramana Maharshi, for example? It has to, you said it always goes back to some sensory modality, I believe. You're trying to satisfy it, which there's no end to that. And, forget desires, go beyond desire. But what sensory modality would that be looking, they're thinking, maybe subconsciously, if I do this, then I'll get to, I can't think of any, this is me, that's why I'm asking the question. What is it that they would look forward to getting as far as some sensory satisfaction, becoming number one? I mean, they could be happy in a cave as long as they're number one.
No. Look, I think, the very important question. Again, if you want to torture the body, that is also wrong. That is completely wrong. That doesn't mean that you will be the best devotee if you start living in a cave and you start wearing a kopina. That's not at all. Just normal living, whatever coming, going, and what you eat, in satisfaction, contentment, santosham, in whatever we have. Maybe you are born as a king, you wear all those jewelry and things, so that's fine. Maybe that's just normal for you. For a middle class person, wearing a t-shirt is fine, that's okay. Not looking to get something, so yes, that might make me appear better, or looking to get. We all eat food. Some have one dish. In some houses there are 4 dishes. It's not about quantity or quality. It is your internal dialogue about things. It is only that. It is, you can't specify that this type of house you live, you are a minimalist. Or if you live in a palace, you cannot get self-realization. Nothing to do with that. Maybe you are born with a silver spoon. You live in a palace. Do you think the people who live in a palace, they are contented? No, they want a bigger palace. They might be more greedy. And it's not that someone living in a hut is greedy. Maybe he's contented with that hut. What I'm saying is that it is your internal dialogue going on with these sense organs in the body. It's not that if you have all the money, then you should keep eating from both hands all the time. It is the attitude towards things around you. And that attitude, if you want to see, I don't know whether I should say this or not, but I have been to so many conferences, and when something is being distributed free during a conference, there is a long queue. Everyone wants to get that. When you reach there, there is nothing. It's tote bag. There's nothing in that bag, only some pamphlets. And there's a long queue of, I'm talking about doctors' conferences, It is nothing to do with your status or how much money. It is just your nature about things. it holds true for all the sense organs. Some people are desperate for something, so desperate that they will pay any money to watch that cricket match or a show or whatever. And then someone might just go there if they get a ticket and everyone is going, they go it, and if they don't get it, nothing happens. For each and every moment, how much is the intensity to be there or to do that? This is what it is all about. In harmony, in free flow, everything is justifiable. There is no restraint or nishedh that this can't be done, this should be done. There is no rule book. In a natural state, whatever comes, you eat. It's not that if someone is giving you mango and you want neem chutney, you want something bitter now. No. I don't want to indulge in eating a mango. It is that just understanding within you. We all come across different type of people. Some are very simple people. If something is being missed in the food, they're not served, they're okay. But the other person can make a storm out of it, that why I was not being served this, So it is all your perception about things in our life, because we experience everything by senses, isn't it? Some people can go to extreme level to satisfy those senses. And if there is an obstacle, they get angry, upset.
May I elaborate a little bit on the question?
Was it the answer to your question?
No, may I elaborate a little bit on it?
Yes, go ahead, yes.
Okay. One of the things about Ramana Maharshi, these people parade around like acting like, but not explicitly saying that they are representatives of him. And he did not appoint anybody like that. We know that. So, okay. Now, say he had, right before he died, he said, there's Animaleo, but he's going to be our number one guy. Take my place, This is not what happened. But say he did. Then Animaleo, what sensory satisfaction would that go to? Like you said earlier, it always has to do with some type of, would he eat better? Why would that? I mean, ego, like I'm number one, would be, I understand that, but I'm trying to connect this to the bodily satisfaction. And so let me just stop there to see if that clicks. I mean, if it's true that it has to somehow serve a sensory satisfaction, then what would that one be? Like I said a while ago, does he eat better? Do people, he doesn't get sex, he doesn't, nothing sensory seems to change. It's more of a mental, type of a thing that shifts. I don't know why I'm having trouble. If that had happened, would there be any sensory satisfaction that Animaleo would have experienced had he been appointed Ramana Maharshi's successor? And if so, what would that sensory bodily change or satisfaction be?
Like, I don't know what you mean by this question, because this is successor. If someone thinks I am the successor, that itself is an obstacle, I believe. Who is successor? There is no hierarchy in it. Everyone is equal. Bhagavan never showed hierarchy in his behavior with anyone. If you see his pictures, he's sitting on a platform, on a bed, and everyone is sitting on the ground. He was forcefully put on that bed. They constructed and forcefully put him there. And they made him like a cage. They surrounded it so nobody goes there. So he said, I'm now going into my jail. These people have created it. He was impartial, neutral, equal to everyone. He never considered himself as important for any reason. The moment you say successor, you are putting importance to that, and that can be a problem if that person is not self-realized. If self-realized, doesn't matter whether you make a successor or you throw them out of the ashram, doesn't matter. The successor hierarchy, the first in position, second in position, Brahman is only there. What position? There is no second, no third, no fourth. That is only. You can call it first, you can call it last. There is only that. If that is only that, then what is hierarchy, or what is first, or what is second? There's nothing. Realization is not in gradation. That this guru, my guru's realization was more than me, and then his guru's realization is more than that, and then his guru's realization was more than that. There's no gradation, it is just that. If Buddha has realized, and now you have realized, Steve, in this 2024, both are same. There's nothing new to realize or nothing different to realize. And there is no gradation in it. But yes, one thing I would say, if someone claims that he is the successor, then he is the biggest fool. What successor of what? That means your identification is as a successor, itself is a bondage. This shows that you are unrealized. No successor. No one can claim it. If someone is claiming realization, that itself shows that there is some I which is claiming. Who can claim? Is that okay, Steve?
It sort of goes back to what you said to begin with about ultimately we must sort of sort it out for ourselves, within ourselves, you know. And satsang and all these are good pointers. So I sort of have the answer in my mind, and I just wanted to run it past you. It's like when you say earlier that, you know, you have intellectual understanding that what you need is an experience of, and then other times, like you will say, and other people, like, no, it's not, you're not looking for an experience, man. It's beyond experience. And in my mind, I reconcile that. I know what you mean in different contexts and so forth. So I've made up my mind. I know what you meant, but I just wanted to see if I didn't even get the question out for some reason. I wanted to get your take on that. Let me ask you a different question, which might be a little simpler. Animalaya, in David Gottman's book of Final Talks, he says, do not, David Gottman has a quote by him, do not set foot on the wrong path, even in times of great distress. You know, like your wife leaves you, now I can get drunk. Don't do that. That makes sense. But because you're not being honest with yourself, that can happen. Like you said earlier, cancer, whatever, just as happy as you can be. It's not required that you set foot on the wrong path. But what about the other way of looking at that? Like if I have some success, it's not like I'm distressed, I'm happy. Then this is why I do this. I'll say, well, you know, this is the converse of stepping foot on the wrong path under distress. I'm pleased because I got some raise or something. I don't know, whatever it would be. That doesn't apply. But then I think, you know, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on YouTube and watch 20 minutes of crime shows, which is the wrong thing too. So when he says, don't step foot on the wrong path, even in times of great distress, it seems like it should be just don't step foot on the wrong path then, or if you're not under distress, still don't set on it. But for me, it's just a total waste of time to look at some stupid YouTube video, you know. You have any thoughts about that? I wonder why he confined it to when you're stressed out, don't step foot on the wrong path. Does that mean if I'm not stressed out, I can? No. I just wondered why he phrased it that way. If you have any thoughts about that, if you understand what I'm saying.
Maybe I'm having a viral and my both ears are blocked. So you say I can hear, but not very clearly. That's why I'm asking you to speak louder. So just repeat the last question, because you're saying something about Annamalai, what he has said, and you want my opinion on it. Just repeat that sentence.
Oh, okay. Annamalai said, do not step foot on the wrong path, even in times of great distress. That's what he said. Why did he say only in times of great distress? Because if I'm just sort of neutral or I've got some success, it seems like I would still not be well advised to step foot on the wrong path. Whether I'm stressed out or blissed out.
Look, a lot of people take an excuse to be on wrong path at times of distress. And that wrong path is very easy to understand. Wrong path means the right path is towards Atman, towards God. A wrong path is full of indulgence and ego. Full of indulgence and ego, satisfying the body. So someone's wife has left and he was praying or doing meditation. Now he wants to finish a bottle of single malt because it's enough for me tonight. I am allowed to do what I want to do because this person has done this to me, and or otherwise I will retort and I will say what I have to say. I am allowed to say because I am the one who is suffering. This is the foot on the wrong path. But if you stay and watch things as they are happening, being an impartial awareness, you are unaffected. No need to take a foot on a wrong path. No need to even to move. But it all depends on our maturity. It all depends on our wisdom. So wherever we are, we can put a foot on a wrong path, but we can come back. Maybe it might take time, but it is your own strength, how much you are on that path for how long. Easily said than done, but these things are important, and I think that's what Annamalai is saying. Because in adversity we can slip. So just be cautious about that, that's all. I see so many people had adversity. Their young kids died or their wife died or something happened tragic in their family. They came to Bhagavan asking for Bhagavan's guidance, Bhagavan's help. Some of them which didn't come to Bhagavan might have gone to a bar and got drunk or maybe depressed or killed themselves. So there's some grace even in suffering that they came to him. So that is the right foot in the right direction at the time of adversity. It could be the other way also for some people. Not that suffering always brings people to the right path. So this is what my understanding is. Let me thank you, Steve. Let me move to Thomas. I think he wants to ask something. Thomas, you have to unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for having us. Namaste.
Where are you? Where are you from?
I'm from Guatemala. I've been following you guys for over a year now, and it has changed my life. So I wanted to thank all of you. And I have a little poem that came to me. This was before Bhagavan came, and then Bhagavan appeared to me.
Sure.
And it says, I loved to love such that I might know love. A valiant heart, steady drive. For what might love that which not know transgression be? And what need love but share itself? For what else would it be? But share and meet, such that there be no inquiry on who it is that true love be. 'Tis not in face, sweet smile, or kind jest, for true love be. Ere what more, what less, would love have part from love, and know itself as true love be.
Beautiful, beautiful. Very nice. There are not many things to understand in knowing self. We already know so many things. The love which we talk about, that love is that self. But this love has no opposite. It does not know how to hate anyone. And I have to say, it can get hurt because you still have a heart, you still have a body, but still you cannot hate, you can only love. This is such a beautiful poem about love. And this love is that self only. We are all that love, part of that love. Satsang is nothing but love only. We are all in love with that absolute. We call him Shiva. You can call by any name. It is without name. And the paradox is we are all in love with him, and that is we. So it is self-love, but what is this self? Not a personal self. It is universal self and only one self. We all are forms of that same self, belonging to the same self, son of same father, that self. That is our father, that is our mother, and that is only one. Some say that only mother can help you to recognize father, because mother knows who is father. This whole creation is mother, Shakti. And that Purusha, that Shiva, that stillness in us, that mind which is matter, which is Prakriti, which is Shakti, that comes, and when it pays obeisance, then it comes there it makes you realize that you are that. In dynamic mode, the energy is going outward through mind, through senses, never looking back. When you start looking within, this is only the grace of the Shakti also, this nature also, mother also. That is why in Indian lot of traditions they pray to mother. All these things are very symbolic. And they say that Purusha in us is like masculine, that Shiva in us. And what are we? We are feminine, that creature, not the sex, the way we describe in forms, but all people who are looking for that beloved in heart, become gopis of Krishna. And if you go, even nowadays, if you go, people who are Krishna Bhakt, whether they are male or female, they all consider themselves as gopis. When Mirabai, who was a Krishna Bhakt, when she went to Vrindavan, one of the temples she was not allowed inside because they said only males are allowed, no female is allowed. And she just went straight. And the head priest stood on the last door and said, "You are not allowed because only males are allowed." He said, "But I don't see any males around me. You all are females. Only Krishna is male." And that priest touched her feet because that is truth. All that energy which is looking for that is feminine energy. Feminine means dynamic, creative. Nature is that. It is giving birth, forms. The moment we look within, everything comes to stillness. The restless mind which is looking for things, analyzing, differentiating, all this is part of this creation. Important for creation, for formation, for discovery, for invention. The moment the same mind goes in, it knows what is happening around, why it is happening, and who am I. Answers comes only within us, not in books. In word, everyone wants happiness, and everyone wants lasting happiness. And people who are after things, they have realized that after a certain time, whatever we achieve, happiness goes away and we start looking for something else. And even for the pursuit of happiness of an object, there's so much of a struggle. Even that journey is sometimes full of struggle and suffering. But knowing our own stillness is that eternal happiness. Nothing to do, nowhere to go, nothing to achieve. Rather, stop achieving. Sometimes when we are desireless, more things happens in our life. There's so much of joy to know when someone writes such a beautiful poem, when someone shares their own joy. It is so beautiful. And this is the testimony that it works. It always works. Someone sent Bhagavan's saying on this, that in this seeking with obstacles and all, at the end, all is well. You become. This is what I pray and I wish every being who wants to know that manifest in them. That's all. This is so beautiful. There cannot be anything better than this to know in this word, which is outside the word, which is eternal and which will always stay. And here the journey ends. End of this journey is beginning of eternal joy. Body will stay as long as it has to with the sheer momentum, but doesn't matter whether it stays or not stays. Your ownership is not there anymore. There are no unfulfilled desires or mission or agenda. But one thing I have to say, anyone in that body, as long as they live, they only praise self only. In different ways, whatever their tradition or culture says. There's nothing else. Somehow that energy finds time to talk about that only. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. So nice to meet everyone 3 times a week. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.